Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Shruti Smriti Puranana Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Purana Nyaya Mimamsa Dharma Shastranga Mishrataha Vedaha Sthanani Vidyana Dharmasya cha Chaturdasha Ayurvedo Dhanurvedo Gandharvaschaiva Te Trayah Arthashastram Chaturthantu Vidyaha Ashtadashaiva Taha Om Shantihi Shantihi Shantihi. Namaste. I welcome everyone who is watching this video brought to you by Indica Bhasha. This video is a conversation with two wonderful people who have been doing tremendous work in the broad area of Sanskrit as well as knowledge systems. We have today Dr. Venkatasubramanian G and Viswanathan G, both of whom are part of a wonderful organization called Vyoma. The objective of today's video is to put the spotlight squarely on the tremendous amount of work that Vyoma has been doing, rather silently, but people who know and who are in the know of things in Sanskrit and knowledge systems related field would definitely know of Vyoma. First, a few words about both the wonderful gentlemen who have joined us today. I'll start with Dr. Venkatasubramanian P. He's earned his PhD from Karnataka Samskrit University for his research work on qualitative analysis of Sanskrit e-learning systems under the guidance of Professor Shrinivasa Varakhedi. He has completed Vidvat Vyakarana from the Karnataka Samskrit University and Acharya Alankarashastra from Rashtriya Sanskrit Vidyapeetha, Tirupati. Vidwan Venkatasubramanian has over 25 years experience in teaching Sanskrit, shlokas, Sanskrit grammar, and Bhagavadgita at different levels through Geetha Govinda Samskrita Sangha, Bangalore. He has trained innumerable students for the Sanskrit exams conducted by Surasaraswati Sabha, Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, and Chittoor Bhasha, Pracharini Sabha. He also teaches for exams like Prathama, Kaavya, Sahitya, Prak-shastri, etc. He is also a certified project management professional and has more than 2 decades of rich corporate and project management experience. He has co-founded and is the Chief Operating Officer, COO, of the world's first Sanskrit e-learning non-profit company called Vyoma Linguistics Labs Foundation. Their URL is www.vyomalabs, as in VYOMALABS.in. The objective of Vyoma Labs is, amongst other things, to spread the message of Sanskritam, Samskriti, and Samskara, SSS, through technology. His vision is to imbibe SSS consciousness in every individual on this earth. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Venkatasubramanian P. We also have with us Vidwan Viswanathan P. He is an accomplished professional bridging traditional Indian knowledge systems with contemporary corporate governance. He holds an Acharya MA in Alankarashastra from National Sanskrit University, Tirupati. He brings over 25 years of experience of imparting knowledge in Sanskrit, shlokas, Bhagavadgita, and private exams conducted by prestigious organizations such as Surasaraswati Sabha, Chittoor, Bhasha Pracharini Sabha, and Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan through Geetha Govinda Samskrita Sangha, Bangalore. Currently, he's serving as the CEO of Vyoma Linguistics Labs Foundation. So we have both the COO and the CEO of this organization. From a very young age, he's been blessed by Sanskrit scholars with profound knowledge in Vedic practices, Sanskritam, and Shastras. With a special interest in management lessons from IKS, he has delivered numerous discourses on this theme. Additionally, he has presented on the power of Sanskrit, collaborating with his brother, Sri Venkatasubramanian P, who is the founder and managing director of Vyoma. In the corporate arena, Vidwan Viswanathan Ji is a multifaceted professional holding qualifications as a chartered accountant, company secretary, certified internal auditor, certified IS auditor, and a certified project management professional. With approximately 17 years of corporate experience, his expertise lies in controllership, external and internal audits, and various facets of governance and compliance, including control analytics. He actively engages in research, exploring potential insights from Indian knowledge systems, IKS, to address contemporary challenges in accounting and auditing. Complementing his professional pursuits, Vidwan Viswanathan Ji is an active member of the Apta Sahaya Foundation, a social initiative dedicated to providing quality education to rural and tribal children. With that, once again, I very warmly welcome both of you. It's wonderful to read about your multifaceted capabilities and the rich experience that both of you have. I hand it over now to you to introduce Vyoma to everyone who's watching this video. Over to you.
Thank you, Megji. It was really kind of you and the people who are at the helm of affairs, Hariji, and everybody to even think of selecting us or even having a discussion with us. So we thank you. We are full of gratitude to your organization. With your permission, we will just start with a small prayer and we will continue the discussion.
Absolutely.
गुरुरेव गतिर्गुरुमेव भजे गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो ब्रवीमि संस्कृतं वाचा ध्यायामि संस्कृतं हृदा कुर्वे सेवाञ्चकायेन वन्दे संस्कृतमातरम् यो नरः संस्कृतव्योम्नि ह्यालयं रमते मुदा संस्कृतिं चैव संस्कारं विन्दते नात्र संशयः. नमस्ते. सर्वेभ्यः नमस्काराः. नमः सदसे, नमः सदसस्पतये, नमः सखीनां पुरोगाणां चक्षुषे, नमो दिवे, नमः पृथिव्यै. भारत मातरं प्रणम्य दैवीं सारस्वत सरस्वतीं च नत्वा समागतेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः संस्कृत संस्कृति संस्कार बन्धुजनेभ्यः हार्दिक नमस्कारान् स्वागतांश्च व्याहरामः. First, I would request Venkat Mahodaya to talk about the genesis or the origin as to how did this Vyoma dream actually come into us and how it all started. So I will request Anna to talk about this.
The story goes like this. I was having a conversation with one of my close friend, Sudhir Patavardhan. He was my childhood friend. And I was asking, suppose we have to spread the knowledge of Samskriti, to everybody in this world, what should we do? This question was triggered by the difficulties that I faced when I being a modern educated professional and wanted to learn Shastras. I had to leave my job. I had to leave my full-time activities related to corporate and then pursue the Shastras. So can everybody do this? That was my question, which is why I asked, do we have some method by which we can spread this Samskriti Samskara to everybody? My friend Sudhir Patavardhan, he immediately sprung upon this idea and he said, this is a very good idea. We have to do this, but we have to do this using technology. When did he tell this? In the year 2008, when he told this as a solution. Further, this seed of spreading this Samskriti Samskara was there in our DNA, we can say, by the upbringing of our grandparents, parents, and in our family. Further, it was nurtured by our teachers, Mata Anantalakshmi Natarajan, who heads the Geetha Govinda Samskrita Sangha, Vidwan Mahamahopadhyaya Soti Nagaraja Mahodayaha, who was my Vyakarana Guru, and Mahamahopadhyaya President Awards winner Vidwan Mahabaleshwara Bhattaha, and Vijay Lakshmi Mahodaya. All these great teachers and the work being done by Chamukrishna ji in Samskrita Bharati, all these great teachers and pracharaks, they sprouted further our idea of spreading this. So at one end, this idea was there in our mind. At the other end, we wanted to reach it to many people. We also had this Geetha Govinda Samskrita Sangha through which we were teaching these exams. And there were some of the parents, some of the students who became parents and who had been outside India. They said, how do we now get our children to learn from you? This was a question they raised. So for all this, our Sudhir Mahodaya gave an answer. Through technology, we can achieve this. At that instance, I asked him, what is this technology you are talking about? I don't know anything about technology. He said, you need not do anything. You need to know your domain. We should do something called e-learning. And that is what was the answer. And hence started Vyoma. It was started as inside Idea Software and Consulting, a software company, which was Sudhir was the president of that company, founder of that company. We started a linguistic practice. Later it was hived out as a non-profit entity called Vyoma in 2012. Thus started this initiative called Vyoma.
Dhanyavada Mahodaya. So then the next question which we had in our mind was, now that you have decided it is Sanskritam, what all will it cover? And the question which people were constantly trying to ask us was, why Sanskritam? How to go about Sanskritam? What is this Sanskritam all about? And when should we learn this? Where all do we need to go for it? There are many questions. And that is when we had a conversation. We even had a formal survey with the parents who were attending our face-to-face classes and also the children. And we asked them a few questions actually. And at that time, we asked them, what are the problems you are facing? And they listed out many problems, starting from children's memory problems, focus, concentration. Then also people spoke about health issues. And then some parents spoke about teenage value-based systems which were there. Some elders also spoke about larger issues which are affecting the country and the world, something like a terrorism, something like an environmental issues, corruption. These kind of issues were spoken about. Some youth also spoke about depression, gender inequality. These kind of issues also came about. We were surprised by these kind of challenges which the people are facing. Then we asked them the next question. What do you think is the answer, or what are the remedial measures you are taking? They said some of us go for yoga, some of us go for meditation, some of us go for astrological remedies, some of us take the spiritual path. Like this, they took up different things. Then we asked them, what is that common thread which binds all of this, the entire Indian knowledge systems. What are those which commonly binds? And then they themselves gave the answer. Sanskritam is the one which commonly binds, which also contains the entire gamut of culture, heritage, and also the wellness, which brings in the Samskriti. And then the DNA values which are there comes through the samskaras. So people today talk about lifelong value system, lifelong learning. But these samskaras can be told as soul long. As long as the soul gets that mukti in one type of, if you have to tell it in a different way, these samskaras continue to be along with us through the Sukshma Sharira and other ways. So therefore, Samskrita Samskriti Samskara is such a beautiful social cause which can be taken up, and that if we deliver it through the e-learning or technology, it can reach maximum people. That is when one of my Unilever friend also came and they suggested, whatever social task you are going to do, you should align it to the United Nations goals, which is called as the SDG, the Sustainable Developmental Goals, which were there. And that is when we also found that there is one goal number 4, called as quality education. And that quality education is nothing but Samskrita Samskriti Samskara, which will be the root solution to all the problems which we have which have been enlisted, and also to all the other solutions which are being pursued. So that is how we came into this Samskrita Samskriti Samskara, and that is how the genesis of Vyoma was done. The thought that we will go through e-learning technology mode was actually came up, and that is how all this happened. And within this, actually, there were certain things we had to clarify also. Like there was always questions on Sanskritam. Can we do transactions using Sanskritam? Can I go to a bank and draw money? Can I purchase vegetables and all that? Or can I get a job, employment through Sanskritam? While all of this is possible, we also told them that there is a higher purpose to Sanskritam. It is a knowledge system by itself. Similarly, Samskriti is not just the dance, music, culture, entertainment kind of a thing. It is that, along with that, it is a holistic wellness which is brought about by the 64 kalas. At the different Panchakosha level, all of this actually acts. Similarly, the samskaras can help us nurture the values and also bring that greatness in our well-being. So all of these are possible through the Samskrita Samskriti Samskara. These are what came through the conversations. Probably now I would request Anna to talk about, like, for whom are these, or how are we actually approaching this through a probably a persona based approach. That can be explained by you, Bhavan.
So when we are answering this question, for whom is this Samskritam Samskriti Samskara relevant? At that instance, we say that there are two broad categories of the target audience whom we can address. First category, you have the individual learners, which we say seva to customers. The second category are the institutional learners. When we say individual learners, in modern parlance it is called as B2C and B2B. So there are institutions who want the service of Vyoma. There are individuals whom we want to transform through to see if they can get transformed through the 3S, which is Samskrita Samskriti Samskara. So we offer our in this we have something called a triad model, a triangle. So you at the edge of this triangle, if you consider the apex of this triangle, you have, since it is e-learning, we have courses, we have products, technology-based products, and we have publications. Courses, products, publications. This is the triad which we offer to various persona depending on their age and their ability to capture or acquire that knowledge. So for kids, we have something called, maybe we can start with kids. We start from the age of 5 and it goes up to 13 years. So we train them on various things like shlokas, drawings, bhajans, stories, why we do what we do, our samskaras. Then we teach them how to do a puja. We do a lot of things. There will be individual courses on this. We teach them Sanskritam, spoken Sanskritam. We teach them Sanskrit. We make it very interesting. We teach them through games. Like this, we do a summer camp. We do some, we have a specific continuous online engagement called Vyoma Sanatana Vidya Patashala, where we select a few kids, committed kids, and a set of parents who work with us so that we can give specific teaching on Sanskritam, Samskriti Samskara, and we take various topics related in that area and we teach them. So we have specific products also for them, which is like personal Sanskrit companion for kids. Then we have a vocabulary builder. We have Learn Sanskrit Level 1. These kind of products, technology products, where children can play. It is an activity-based learning. They can experience that learning by themselves. This is for kids. Similar things we have for school and college students. University students, we have advanced courses related to Sanskritam, grammar, etc. For professionals and homemakers, we have all these Sabha exams. People who couldn't learn Sanskrit earlier, they write these exams. Then we have senior citizens where we address them through discourses. And then a specific case of special children where we have for autistic children or Down syndrome, these kind of children, we have specific interventions which are audio-based interventions which can help the child behave better in an environment where treatment is given for them. So like this, we have about 7 to 8 personas. These personas are expanding as we are growing. But overall, this is the individual learners, which we call it as Seva to individuals or Seva to customers. The next we have is the institutional learners. So you have these play homes and kid centers. You have these rural tribal schools and government schools. You have these urban schools, which is the school category, where we college and universities, Sanskrit universities, mainstream, Veda Patashalas, Gurukulams, schools for special children, all these institutions are there. Now, for these things, we have something called a digital Sanskrit language lab. So if they have a system or a computer, we put all our products and whichever courses they want, we give them specific access to them. And they start using these on a regular basis through a timetable which we prepare for them after discussing with their Sanskrit teacher or with the head of the institution. We customize an offering to them and we place it in their institution, and many people inside that institution can benefit from that seva. So it is a customized approach for individuals and institutions, and we have courses, products, and publications.
Right. Dhanyavada, Mahodaya. So, like again, Anna was telling, the other question which people were asking is, how do we actually approach this entire model of learning Sanskrit, or even coming into the world of, let us say we have to enter the world of Indian knowledge systems. What are the aspects which are there? So when we also checked with our gurus and we spoke to them, they kind of gave this as a model. So here, if we see this, the base which they kind of told us was something called as Bhasha Dhyanam, or the basic language learning, which has the aspects of listen, speak, read, write, compose and comprehend, which is LSRW, CC. Those are all standard terminologies. So this can be done by writing private exams, by writing formal exams, by attending spoken Sanskrit workshops, by taking up Kovida kind of exams. Through that Bhasha Dhyanam, the basic landscape of the language is obtained. Structure is obtained. Then the next step, what people or elders recommend is, you can take up any one text. It can be as simple as a Sankshepa Ramayanam containing 100 shlokas, Niti Shatakam containing 100 shlokas, or a Geetha 700 shlokas. You can go up to any Sundara Kandam or any portion of a text, and that text you try to do a textual immersive learning, wherein you take the text, you do a Padapadartha, Anvaya, Bhavartha, and go through the whatever we have learnt in the Bhasha Dhyanam, we try to assimilate that and strengthen that. From there, what happens is, there is an interest for a few people wherein we have to go further deeper in that. And from there, people branch out to the respective Shastras. It can be the sciences which are there. It can be Vedanta Shastra, Vyakarana Shastra, Tarka, Mimamsa, any of the Shastras which are there, they can go to that and they can do the Shastra Dhyanam. But along with this, what also happens is, there is one model called as the Viniyoga Samskritam. This aspect is all about applied Sanskrit studies. For example, every day when we do a puja, when we chant a mantra, what am I chanting? What is the meaning of this? What are the commentaries for this? What bhava does this have? Similarly, when I am at workspace, and if there is something which reminds me of a Bhagavadgita principle, Ramayana principle, how are we applying that? So that is the Indian knowledge system in management, in workspace. Today there are stalwarts speaking about this. So like this, there is an area called as Viniyoga Samskritam. Now what can happen is, people can enter through the Bhasha Dhyanam, go to Grantha Dhyanam, Shastra Dhyanam, a formal approach. After Shastra Dhyanam, again we need to come back to Grantha Dhyanam, so that this time, the second time when we come back to Grantha, the Grantha, it may be the same page, same font, same text, but it starts giving newer dimensions and layers of meaning. The joy is different at this moment. Then again, when we go back to Shastra, Shastra starts unraveling itself further. This continues. But there are some people who may, after Bhasha Dhyanam, the basic essentials, directly go to the application part of it, applied Sanskrit. Some of us may go from Grantha Dhyanam to the Viniyoga. Some of us from Shastras can also go to the Viniyoga. Some of us may directly enter in the Grantha Dhyanam. What happens? At home, we may be taught Tulsidas Ramcharitmanas, or we may be taught, you take up this Ramayana, shlokas, start chanting this Mula Ramayanam. When we take up, we would have started from there. From there, we can always go to Bhasha Dhyanam, Shastra Dhyanam. We can go to the Viniyoga Samskritam. So like this, what happens? Some of us may even come directly from the applied Sanskrit path and then come to each of these areas. So this model actually is quite a very powerful model to let us know where we are or how we should approach this Sanskrit journey. Or today, if I am in one place, how can I then traverse the path? This is like a standard GPS which is there from where we can go. And this whole thing has now been incorporated into our Vyoma website, wherein we have this concept of a learning path. So if we come to the Vyoma Sanskrit from Home website, what happens is, we have three areas. That is, one is an option wherein we can go to the courses The other is we can create a learning path individually. We can give our persona, objective. There is a small proficiency test depending on our objective, and then it gives us, depending on the time availability, it's called a POPT model. We are given a learning path which we can pursue and meet our objective. And most of these courses also finish with an assessment. So here we can see an assessment. So like assessments are almost on par with the any GMAT, GRE kind of an assessment, wherein it is a timed assessment. We have multiple choices. We can mark certain things for review. You know which all you have answered. You come back, you can submit it. You get a feedback on these assessments. So
Vidwan, the slide is on, sorry to interrupt, but the slide is on 6 still. If that is intended, then that's okay.
Oh, no, sorry. We wanted to show the screen, sorry. So this is the learning path. We were speaking about the learning path, the learning programs, which are there in our website. The POPT model. Once you click on the learning path, it will take you through the model. And finally, we also have assessments, which there are self-assessments. Some of these courses, the assessments open on certain time, depending on when the course is live. And once we can take assessment, we know how we are figuring on this. So these are some of the aspects which have been built in this journey of bringing the Sanskrit or the Samskrita Samskriti Samskara alive into this journey.
So the next part that in the Sanskrit from Home website, most of the courses that are launched are launched free of cost. That is, we want this pracharam to happen. We want to reach as many people as we can, and that is why we have kept most of these courses free. But when the teachers come to us and they take a course with us, we try to give them some Gauravadhana with the help of the donations received from the society. So this is one part. Mostly we survive on donations. By Bhagavad Kripa, we are slowly sustaining, though we are hand to mouth in most of the months. The second part is we have something called the Digital Sanskrit Group. In the Digital Sanskrit Group, we have an in-house technology team who create products. So we have 3 offerings, as we said: courses, products, and publications. So in the Digital Sanskrit Group, we have all the prized books and the products, which can be used either by an individual as a self-learning toolkit or by a teacher who can use this as a toolkit to instruct or to teach the children. Any teacher can be enabled, or this can be used in institutions as language lab. We can put this as in a Bhasha lab. We can put Sanskrit products, and when people can come there, and if they want to play a game on Sandhi, they can play. They can do a Samasa crossword. They can do any game. They can do it here to any audio, any video, and they can enjoy themselves in the learning path. So the structured learnings through structured e-learning, products, courses, and publications. In publications, currently we are doing, though we want to do more publications, currently we are doing publications that support our products or courses. So that is how we have structured our offerings for the target audience. The most important thing about Vyoma is we have a cross-functional team. In order to, so if we have to create a technology product and we have to create a linguist interface inside that. So we need technology, people with good knowledge of linguistics and technology. So that is one cross-functional team of experts are available. God has sent these experts in our team, and we have Shastrajnas. So we have people who teach for kids, and we have Shastrajnas who teach Shastra Granthas, advanced Shastras. So this is what is the offerings and this one.
Now, probably just to share the capability of the team and how all of this is now, when we say e-learning, what are the components of e-learning which comes in is a basic video lesson, an audio lesson of the same, with the PPT converted to a PDF, having charts, tables, pictures are given. It is mandatory and we have to start with that. Apart from that, there are certain concepts which also help in certain areas. For example, if you can see here, there is this tool called as Savartanam, that is to do multiple repetition and also to have a transcription capability. So for example, if we have to memorize the entire Ashtadhyayi, based on which the entire Sanskrit grammar is built on, we have this tool wherein we can play the tool. So there is an audio along with the text which keeps moving. So if we click on the text also, it will take us. So let us say directly click on this and we play the audio. It will play that audio. So there is an audio to text, text to audio with the speed increase option and also a loop. We have to learn 15 sutras. We can do A to B and that can keep on helping. So this was done with the help of
IIT Kanpur.
IIT Kanpur Mahodayas. So they helped us develop this. Hrishikesh ji and Rajiv ji, they helped us develop this. And this we have now implemented to Bhagavadgita and other areas also. So this is one technological intervention which can make the life of learners easy. Similarly, we have these kind of flip books wherein anywhere when people go, they may not carry the books. So these kind of flip books have features wherein you can directly go to a page. You can see which chapter, directly go to chapters. Very similar to what we can actually use in a book, in a real book, almost closer to a real book. We have this kind of a facility which is there. Similarly, when we go to the multimedia, there are areas. For example, this is a level 1 product for entering Sanskrit, wherein skills are taught, pathas, and there is a self-assessment at the end of it. Then once we get into the patha or the lessons, there are grading which are there. For each lesson, there are games. There is a small introduction which is done, and then parallelly activity-based learning is included. So that these are useful for children especially, wherein the main objective is to develop the deep love for the language and also an interest in pursuing it further. We don't want to load them too much, but we want them to like the language, play around the language, and incidentally learn it. And this, once it comes into a e-form, it can be accessed anywhere, anytime, which helps them. You need not carry loads of games, card games. You need not carry all of these along with you. But anywhere, just with the tab or a mobile, you will be able to use these kind of materials, games which are there.
So to add to this, the new education policy, NEP 2020, highlights these methods like activity-based learning, technology-based learning to reinforce the concepts explained in class. Then projects for children, collaborative learning for children. Then it also focuses on Bharatiyata inside the content that is being given. All these principles that are there inside the NEP 2020 and the new national curriculum framework, knowingly or unknowingly, we have already incorporated inside our products and inside some of our courses.
So for example, if we take this small game, this is a game on Paka. So there are the first stage is listing out all the dishes in Sanskrit and giving. the names along with the details. After introducing that, the children come to this Nalapaka. Here what happens in a traditional South Indian meal, there are some Samskriti traditional aspect also as to where which item has to be served. Now what happens when we directly tell a child that you have to serve it here itself, the natural question is, why should I serve it here? Can't we eat it from another place? But then once it comes in a game, for example, let's say we take payasam and I keep it here. It comes and sits here. A mishrannam comes here. Kotitam, let's say an annam comes in the center. And then let us say I take saraha, it is here. Avalehaha, which is the pickle, comes here. A shashkuli comes here. Kotitam is the sambar, saraha is the rasam. Takram gets served here. So like this, when it happens, there have been instances wherein temanam is the kadi. So wherein the child then goes to his house in when the parent actually serves it wrong, the child has told, Amma, the game, the payasam is served on the right side. You please serve here itself. So Samskriti through games, when we introduce, the child becomes the teacher for the parents. And these kind of anecdotes or testimonials the parents have given, which makes us happy that somewhere all of these are working together. So these are some of the thoughts which we had while there are certain things, but Meghji, we just wanted to know if there are any other specific questions you had for us. Anything else we need to discuss about?
Namaste. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. I think this was a wonderful introduction to how you're looking at this overall process end to end, starting from the student to the end goal in terms of what you want to be taught, how it is to be consumed, what are the aids that could enable this process. And while you very humbly said knowingly or unknowingly, you have already implemented it. I think you were pioneering, perhaps. That's one way to look at it. In implementing this, and you were ahead of the curve, as one might say. And I think it's really eye-opening to see so many wonderful features also that you demonstrated over here. I found particularly the technology intervention that you credited to the good folks at IIT. I think that really is something that should definitely aid learning. Also, the pyramid structure that you clearly enunciated based on, as you attributed to elders and others who have given that input, that this might be the best way to approach it. It makes so much sense. It makes so much logical sense. Uh, I do sense that both of you are fairly modest and humble, so I'm going to request you to project yourself a little bit more and tell us about, how many lives you have touched through this process, and speak to us about any nice stories that you feel like you would like to highlight, or any particular students that who come to your mind, or any particular faculty that you would like to talk about. Feel free to take this off. The idea is to put the spotlight on the wonderful work that you're doing. So feel free to tell us, in terms of what has been your impact, for instance. How do you see what your impact has been?
Right. So thanks for the question, Meghji. So when we start working as a non-profit, it is a seva manobhava. But then we have also incorporated it as a Section 8 company, wherein the plan was to continue this for perpetuity. Men may come and men may go, but a company goes on forever. What we read in the Companies Act. So Solomon versus Solomon. So we wanted to implement it in our lives. So therefore, once it becomes a company, there is a professional work culture. There are metrics to it. There are targets, deadlines, and then people join hands to it. Donors are there. And there is a method to the entire seva which happens. So from a metrics perspective, of course, by God's grace, more than 1 lakh of people have been touched through various sources actually. wherein
Wow, that's
God has
amazing.
been
It's amazing.
God has been kind to us. He runs the entire Vyoma, and it's not just a statement, but every day we can feel the hand of God in every activity we do. So there, through the Sanskrit from home, there are more than around 65,000 committed learners. Through the digital Sanskrit Guru, where people are sharing our products and our tools, we have quite a few people. Again, from the YouTube, actually, when we see, there are, I think, now close to a few millions of views which are there. We have around 5,000 plus videos which are there. So, and we also go for outreach events. So, like last 5 years back, our students in the US, they had called us because we were going for the World Sanskrit Conference, and I was presenting a paper there on e-learning and the e-learning tools. And en route, a lot of students who were there told us, as you are coming so long to Canada, why don't you Vancouver? Why don't you come to US and have some seva? Slowly that spread, and we managed to visit around 9 states. And there, a lot of people helped us. And that is where the interaction with the people, a lot of outreach happened there also. So similarly, through the outreach, there are a few people. So these are happening. But apart from the numbers, while the numbers are just there.
Just on the number part, just I would like to highlight about 15,91 hours of student engagement has happened.
Wow, hold on. That is roughly 1.6 million.
Yeah,
1.6 million hours of student engagement. That's
and
amazing.
Directly through our LMS only, which is measured inside our LMS.
Wow. Okay.
And this is possible only because of the 100 plus teachers we have in our portal. So these teachers, they have, through their courses, they deliver excellent content. Some of the teachers are in-house, like Soumya Krishnapur, Dr. Soumya Krishnapur, who is our Vyakarana scholar. All of us at Indica may be knowing her. And other people, Brinda Karanam.
Megji knows Brinda.
Yes.
Megji, you may also, you are aware of Brinda ji. Then we have Rama Shivaraman, we have teachers like Vishnu Priya ji, Shobha Vasuki, all these excellent teachers who are very passionate about this Sanskritam and the spreading of this. So it is these teachers who make Vyoma a great journey for the learners. So they bring this thing to, especially the teachers who teach the kids, the scholars and the teachers. They do a lot of, they have a lot of patience in teaching the kids, and they undergo, they talk to parents, they understand the learning difficulties, they try to customize the offerings based on the difficulties. All these things, finally it is the teachers who bring it. And last but not the least, the greatest are our donors who have supported us, both in India and in the USA. The advisory board, if you see, we would have not been such a great organization but for the chairman of our chairman B. Krishnamurti Mahodaya, my technology friend Sudhir, and the advisory board. It was Mahadevan sir. I think he's also on the Advaita Academy board. He's in the board of many organizations. So it was he who has given us that catalyst in terms of how we have to structure our offerings and how we have to make sure this pracharam happens. And under his advisory board, we have Rama Shivaramanji, and Rama Shivaramanji also has delivered one lecture in Indica. Rama Shivaramanji and Dr. Rajesh Nair. Recently, we have, since we have completed now 11 years in this journey, formally 11 years in this journey, 2012 to now, we are embarking on some steps where we can see if we can scale up this organization. So there are some experts helping this initiative. Scale in the sense, not in terms of increasing in organizational this one, but increasing in the prachara. The numbers, how many people we can reach more, how better we can reach.
Wonderful.
Those are some areas where people are helping us, and we have to acknowledge their contributions. In terms of testimonials, I would request Viswanathan to highlight some of the testimonials which have transformed lives, some transformation stories which are there.
Yeah. So testimonials is what keeps us running actually, with so much of activities and everything going on. When people come and talk to us. So for example, when we went to the USA, especially in New York, there were a set of yogic experts. And then when we demonstrated the power of Sanskrit, they actually, then the conversation led to how Sanskrit or chanting this Sanskrit shlokas can operate at all the Panchakosha levels. That they kind of experienced and they shared with us. Similarly, what happened, there was one person who actually, after attending Brindaji's chanting classes, he said that he's able to get deeper into his meditations after practicing good chanting. So that was one of the feedback actually. Some of them, after having attended Vedanta courses, they said that their day-to-day interactions, many of them are corporate workforce people, they are becoming more stress-free. They are able to interact better in their daily life. So even Bhagavadgita classes are valuable. There are many teachers who attend Vyoma classes, especially because one of the building principle has been anything in Vyoma, by God's grace and elders' blessings, should be 100% authentic and pramana based. Nothing should be off the hook or just by air or just by guess should not be there, because many elders who have been our teachers are watching us day in and day out, and we are answerable to them always. So that's how teachers, and they are using, especially in the US, many teachers are using the Vyoma tools and products. People are also able to take up MA and other exams, which are
nice.
So
Very
these
nice.
kind of things are helping us. Recently, a 4.5-year kid actually completed the entire Bhagavad-gita, listening to Brindaji's Bhagavad-gita recordings, and the kid gave exam at Sringeri and Tirupati, both places, got recognition, and the kid actually told that I want to be like Brindaman.
Oh, nice.
There are a lot of people who tell that Soumyaji is the best online teacher ever. So all of these people are actually making what it is. And we are fortunate to be in amidst all of this.
In the stotra space, see, in the traditional university Sanskrit model, you don't have the stotras at all. Wherever, in whichever university, you have Raghuvamsha, you have the Kaavyas, literature, etc. The stotra Sahitya is not taught as it has to be taught in the traditional university mainstream Sanskrit education. So that is one of our pillars, where whatever is neglected in the sense because of lack of time, priorities, and national agenda, etc. There are higher things that has to be taken. So in such scenarios, not everything can be taken in the national agenda. So in such cases, can we take some things which our gurus or our elders have suggested? This is the shlokas. And for example, one shloka I would just tell. Narayaniam is a text written by Bhattatri, and it is from Kerala. All of us know Guruvayur is the temple on the Devata deity on which it is based. 1000 shlokas, which is a summary of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam Purana, 18,000 Bhagavata shlokas, concisely given by Bhattatri in 1000 shlokas. It was composed because Bhattatri was himself not well. He had a conversation with Guruvayurappan, the god, and he wrote these shlokas. Now you see this particular course, which was a 3-year-long course conducted by one of our teachers, Shankar Rama Sharma, has created waves across South India. So many people, about 3,000 people have joined for this course. Similarly, Vishnu Sahasranama by our Rajesh, one of our teachers, Lalita Sahasranama, these daily chants which are there. where we first, so our progression is first we do a chanting, then we do a meaning, and then we do the next level Sanskritam analysis, etc. That way, we take these people across the pyramid that we have told, and we give importance to that. So there are, like this, there are so many teachers who have shaped Vyoma to the way it is. Thanks to all these people and our advisory board members, Mahadevanji and Rajesh Nair and Rama Shivaraman, these, and BKM sir, who is our chairman. So these people have shaped our vision and pruned our thinking at stages, and they are still driving us for the future.
This is amazing. This is amazing. And thanks to both of you. You have thanked everybody else. As a common Bharatiya Nagarika, I take this opportunity to thank both of you for the remarkable work that you are helming in your respective roles at Vyoma. When the history of this period is written from the point of Sanskritam, Vyoma, in my view, would be a bright star on that land, on the skyscape, because of the sheer amount of very quality work that you're doing in an unsung way, with invoking good technology and involving very qualified people. So my best wishes to Vyoma, and I thank both of you for taking time out. I hope, again, I'm getting a sense that you might not have done something like this before, which is to talk about your organization. We are happy to have done this and brought it out as part of Indica Bhasha, and we would like to spread the word around about Vyoma and the wonderful work that you're doing, and hopefully increase the footprint in whatever small way that we can contribute to this larger cause. I thank you for your time, and once again, best wishes for everything that Vyoma does. I hope to be in conversation with both of you together or individually or both at later stages for any other specific conversations that we could have, which you feel might be relevant for a larger audience. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, Megji. Thank you
Yeah.
for your for this initiative, and we thank Hariji also.
And the entire Indica team. We thank everybody.
Much. We salute your
organization and also your organization,
and how you are becoming a catalyst in helping other organizations grow.
Come together.
You are bringing an ecosystem of dharmic organizations. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You have been very kind to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Not at all. I think you absolutely deserve the attention. More people need to know that such options exist. Like I said, people who are in the know, who have the access to some Acharya, immediately Vyoma will be, I think, within first or second degree of separation. But I see no reason why Vyoma should not be known to as many people, whether or not they have access to an Acharya. And we're happy to do our little bit in that. Dhanyavad once again.
Dhanyavad. Namaste.